Hey friends, welcome to the Smart Connector podcast. Today we're going to talk about an important topic that will help you make more sales faster, and that is having a conversion process. As a brand marketer and business growth advisor, I always emphasize to the clients of my accelerator program how important it is for them to have a conversion process in place. A conversion process takes your prospects off social media and gets them to either book a call or buy something from you. It's a series of steps that you can use to turn potential clients into paying clients. And the process typically begins with a prospect becoming aware of your product or service and then progresses them through various stages of engagement until they're ready to make a purchase from you. Now, if you've ever received any sales training, you may be familiar with the acronym AIDA, which stands for Attention, Interest, Desire, and Action. This is a marketing and advertising model that describes the 4 stages of the customer journey that a prospect goes through before making a purchase or taking another action that you want them to take. The first stage of the model is to get the attention of your potential client. And this can be done through various methods such as paid advertising, social media, email marketing, or other forms of promotion such as this podcast or a YouTube video. And the goal is to promote awareness of you and your product or service and to make your prospects want to dive deeper into your world. Now, once you have their attention, the next stage is to create interest in your business. And this can be achieved by providing useful and informative content to highlight its benefits. Now, your prospect's level of interest may still be low at this point, so the primary goal here is just to keep them engaged and curious to know more. So make sure you weave in some of your unique charm, personality, and stories, as people by people and feeling warm towards you as well as what you do is really important in terms of building a relationship of trust. The third stage of AIDA is to create desire for your product or service. Now, once you've got your prospects' attention and interest, you'll need to build on that so they really start engaging with and feeling excited about your offer. And this can be done by showing how what you do is particularly relevant and or different to similar services that your prospect may also be considering. And the purpose of this stage is to move them closer towards that all important commitment to purchase from you. So at this point, you'll need to use social proof such as case studies and testimonials to build on that trust and credibility. Now, the final stage of the AIDA model is to invite your potential client to take action. And this could be to make a small purchase, book a call, or anything that either moves them closer to or actually turns them into a paying client of yours. And the goal of this final stage is to make it as easy as possible for them to take this step and to create a sense of urgency that encourages them to act now. So now let's look at the limitations of doing this through social media, and I'm going to show you why, by relying on it exclusively, the AIDA model is incomplete. Now, the role of social media is to develop that first stage of awareness amongst your audience, unless, of course, you're paying for ads. Even then, social media will amplify what you're doing elsewhere, so always make sure you use all the channels at your disposal, as it's really the more the merrier when it comes to exposure. Now, social media is a powerful tool for building your brand and reaching new prospective clients, but it can also be a distraction that stands in the way of prospects actually paying for your services. Given that getting people to buy your services is the goal of all of our marketing efforts, this is a pretty important issue. Like it or not, if you're selling services, you do have to be visible on social media, and your profile needs to be professional and up to date with recent content that's been posted at least within the last week. Relying on social media alone, though, to build your business is not really an effective strategy today. Unless you're uploading evergreen content, and by this I mean a library or wall of content that's organized in a way that lets people go back months or even years and binge watch or consume what you have to say. Podcasting is a great example of this, or YouTube, but the regular social media platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram are designed for disposable, ever-changing content, so they're more temporary in nature and won't produce the same lasting impact for your business. The problem with most social media platforms is that you're there together with all your rivals, competing for the same attention from those high value clients that would be perfect for you and them too. And you can't really do anything to change this because you're not in control. Social media is basically like building your house on rented land. And what that means is that the ever changing algorithms decide how your content will be promoted and who it will be shown to, not you. Now, here's another problem. If you don't post or consistently engage with the content of others, your content may not be considered worthy of reaching a wider audience. It is social media after all. Now, there's no need to personalize here because we must always remember that it's a machine that takes those decisions, not a real person who does or doesn't like us. The primary risk of posting without engaging with the content of others is that your post may only be shown to a small audience who already know what you do and who are supporters and friends rather than genuine prospects. So don't just do your daily post, breathe a sigh of relief, and get back to your real work with that comforting thought that you're done for today. Allocate the same amount of time each day to post and engage. Respond to comments on your posts, make comments on other people's, and reach out in person with personalized messages about how much you enjoyed what they said. Obviously, if you did. Or get somebody else to do it for you. You don't have to do it all yourself. Obviously, that's going to cost you, but the option is always there. Another reason platforms may not show your content to a wider audience is low engagement from others. So, if your content doesn't receive many likes, comments, or shares, LinkedIn, for example, may not consider it valuable enough to promote. Your posts need to have the RVO factor, as I call it. In other words, be relevant, valuable, and original to get likes, comments, and shares. And that's why you shouldn't post the same content across multiple social media platforms in one day, because it will reduce your exposure across all of them. Also, you definitely shouldn't copy and paste a post you've seen elsewhere and pass it off as your own. This is, of course, different to sharing, which is encouraged. Copying and pasting other people's content without crediting them is, of course, unethical. But the online environment does cause some people to lose their moral compass, so it's worth reminding you not to take that seemingly convenient but ultimately pointless shortcut. Now let's look a little bit more deeply at the second step of AIDA, which is interest. So, once potential clients become aware of your product or service, the next stage is interest. And this is where you'll provide more information to help your prospects to make an informed decision. For example, you might take your clients via a link to a landing page that describes the features and benefits of your product or service in a compelling and persuasive way. And this might also include testimonials or case studies to help build that trust and authority and credibility, and a CTA or call to action, which could be to either book a call or buy something small from you. Alternatively, you might want to take prospects to your website where you might have a chatbot to answer their questions or a pop up with an opt in to get them onto your mailing list. And you can also add your links to blogs or newsletters to take them deeper into your world. The third step of AIDA is desire. And by this stage, your potential clients are likely considering whether or not to buy from you. If your offer is B2B, business to business, for example, if you're a consultant, business coach, or service provider, this is the point at which you'll probably want your prospects to have a call or meeting. However, depending on their level of interest, they may not be ready to do this. So, this is where an online client attraction process like our Chosen First system can step in to build that all important interest and desire. And this is a 2-week client attraction campaign to deliver a training video and finally a webinar across multiple touch points to build know, like, and trust before your prospects engage with you in person. And the great news is that when they do, they're fully primed and ready to buy. Now, Chosen First is a done for you and done with you online system, which has the added benefit of you being able to track your prospect's journey throughout the process. This helps you monitor their behavior and gauge their level of interest. And this is extremely valuable as it allows you to optimize your system through data, which is very hard to do through organic social media alone. The higher status a buyer has, in other words, the higher their level of seniority, professional expertise, and responsibility, the more reluctant they'll be to engage with you on your terms and in a timescale that suits them, rather that is dictated by you. And now this is before they've become a client, as once they've made that decision, you're on their team and their behavior will change. They may be used to having everyone and everything at their fingertips. And what that means is that they may be networking at in-person events to find you, but the chances are they won't be jumping on calls unless there's a clear and obvious benefit for them from the get-go. So their primary hunting ground is online. And when you provide them with a smooth discovery process that they can access in their own time, that's when you'll stand a much better chance of converting them into paying clients. And that's what our Chosen First system lets them do. So just to remind you, the fourth step of AIDA is action. In B2B services, this often happens via a meeting or call, and it really is better for this to occur as a result of your prospect reaching out to you, because high status buyers like to feel they're in control. Therefore, by making yourself discoverable, accessible, and finally desirable, you are granting them the ultimate freedom and privilege that befits their status, which is choice. Of course, once this process begins, there are other steps involved in the purchase of your services, and in some future episodes, we'll look at those too. Now, automation, let's look at the role of that. I mean, it doesn't mean spamming blindly, as many seem to think. When automation is frictionless, you'll hardly be aware of it. When it's done badly, though, like a bad facelift, you'll know, and it will make you frustrated, irritated, and upset. The use of automation is really all about leverage. You leverage technology and the power of online systems to deliver your message smartly and without you needing to show up in person. And this saves you time and money, and it means your business will work harder for you than you could ever work for it, which is a very nice thought for most hard-pressed entrepreneurs. Your prospects, meanwhile, leverage technology to consume your message in a location and at a time that works for them, which is a win-win for all. So make sure you use social media to gain awareness and get a conversion process in place to take your prospects off it and into your world. And by doing so, you'll set yourself up for success and achieve your goals as an entrepreneur. Thanks so much for listening in, and I hope this episode was helpful for you. If you want to set up a conversion process but you're not sure how, make sure to book a call with our team and we'll tell you how. And as always, be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to the Smart Connector podcast for more tips and advice on how to succeed as a seller of your own services. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.